back. How was it out there? How was the first day getting back out there?
It was good. I mean, I had a lot of time to reflect on just, what's important and just the opportunity of playing in this league and playing for this organization. And I can't put into words, how privileged myself and these guys are to play in this league. Those last 4 weeks gave me a lot of time to think and just become a better father, better husband, and fortunately, be a better football player.
What were your emotions like the last 4 weeks? I mean, did you go up and down at all?
I made a conscious effort to watch the game through a cell phone, just through scores, because I didn't want to hear what the media had to say. I didn't want to hear any negativity words. So I said to myself that I wanted to come back with a clear mind, in a sense where once I got here, I was just here to contribute, here to be a part of something that's special, here to be a part of this team, and not have any preconceived notions about what was said about me, what coaches or what the media had thought about me not being on the offensive side of the ball. So that's what I did. I watched and I continued to root for the team, and I came back with a clear mind.
What does it mean for you to be one touchdown away from 100, being an elite company with like Tony Gonzalez and Tim Brown and those guys?
I mean, it means a lot. Just because when you think of those guys and the amount of work that was put in and the way they was able to pave the way for someone like myself, that's an elite group. So it's a privilege. Can't say enough about so many people who've helped me get to that point, and obviously those are the things that's not recorded. So many teammates who was a big part of me doing the things that I was able to do over the years. So it's so many people that helped me along the way, and unfortunately I get the credit for it.
What was it like for your teammates? What were their response to you coming back, and then the organization as a whole? Just you being back in the building, everything like that?
I mean, obviously they welcomed me with open arms, man. Happy to see me, and it's funny because I was just as happy to see them. So it's like a family. It's like a family here. I got back a lot of smiles, a lot of laughter, a lot of jokes, but at the same time they know collectively we mean business. We got to get our next win and get to 3-2. So it was fun. I was happy to be back. I got a lot of dialogue from just different players and, just how, thankful they are to be a part of, being around myself. And I was saying same thing, vice versa.
You've taken part in hundreds of practices, but is it safe to say this is the one you look forward to more than any other practice?
I was nervous. I was nervous driving back into just because you just never know what to expect once you disappear for 4 weeks approximately, and then you try to come back. You just never know the response you're going to get. You don't know truly how people feel about you till something like this happens, and it's a true test of what my teammates mean to me, and vice versa, what I mean to them, because they was supportive throughout it all. And I think you don't want to be in a situation where you have to obviously figure it out, but they've been unbelievable these last 4 weeks.
Was anybody allowed to be in touch with you? And if they were, what were some of the things during the time you were off? Did they give you some like encouragement texts or?
No, you know what? It was very distant. To me personally, I knew I had to be ready to come back and play, and I'm quite sure it wasn't no doubt in nobody's mind that I wasn't going to be ready. More importantly, it was my own pride. Being a professional was what I like to use in that term, is just being ready to play and being ready to come back and help.
So was there any apprehension today that maybe there'd be a little rust or anything?
Yeah, of course. You can't. It's very hard to duplicate practicing. It's very hard to duplicate, the moves and the cuts that you do on the football field. So obviously, I slipped on some routes, but I said if I was going to make a mistake, I was going to do it full go. I was going to come out and I was going to prepare the only way I know how to prepare. And I think that's what this league is about. There's nothing given to you in this league. You got to earn it. And just like a fresh start for me, I got to kind of reestablish what I can do, and what I can bring to the table.
So what did you do during the 4 weeks to stay in fighting trim? I mean, did you find a high school field somewhere?
No, I did a multitude of things. Naturally running was, to me, was number one on my list as a priority. Just being able to do some type of cardio, and I like to, use different techniques. Obviously, getting your heart rate up and bringing it back down is the most equivalent one to playing football. It's, playing at a high level and then taking a 45-second rest. And I just did a lot of little things. I didn't want to overdo it. I wanted to still come back and be fresh, and just did some certain things. I understood that my weight was 255. I took the approach to make sure I was under 255, and I ate well. I wanted to eat right, and I just had to wait. Days were counting down.
Hey, Danzy, what do you have to do to make sure this doesn't happen again? What precautions do you have to take?
I just think you have to be more aware. I think that's the lesson that need to be learned from this particular situation. I think you have to understand that it's a multitude of things that you can't have or you can't take, despite whatever reason and whatever way you want to rationalize it as a player. You didn't know, somebody didn't tell you. It doesn't matter. You're accountable for what you put in your body. You're accountable for your own actions. And nevertheless, would I make an excuse for something that I've done, and point the finger and say, they responsible for it, because I'm responsible for what I intake. I'm responsible, regardless of it's in a position to recover. No matter what it is, I'm responsible for it. So it was definitely a lesson to be learned in terms of what you're taking and what you're doing.
And you said you didn't want to hear what the media might say. Were you afraid that they were going to bash your reputation or something?
No, I think I never was. Not once did I, feel like the media was going to say anything in a negative light. I don't even think that was a concern of mine. I think my main concern was, what was it? Where did I go wrong? Because I understand the amount of work I put in, not only over the past year, but just over the duration of my career, just my playing career since I was 12 years old. So I never felt less of a person. I felt that I let my team down, if anything. I felt I let them down because I wasn't as sharp as I needed to be, and next time it'll be me making the right choice, or even if, it happens again, I just know that this is the list of things that we can't have, and that list runs out the roof, so now it's just, when it's time for me to recovery, I might just take a different approach in terms of, trying to heal.
You sound like, you reestablish myself. You don't sound like you're coming in here only as an undrafted rookie. Are you taking that approach?
I've always taken that approach in a sense, just because the nature of this league. I've seen so many great players come into this league and be released or get cut or not quite live up to the expectations. So I've always had somewhat of a concern of not playing at a high level. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I've always felt like, I overdo things because I'm afraid of not playing well, more so than practicing to just get it right. I try to practice not to get it wrong, just because I've always been in a position where, I had to make a big play or I had to contribute at a certain level. So I've always had that. I think it may come from just being a free agent, coming into this league. So many people doubted me in terms of me coming from a basketball background, saying there's no way this guy can make this team. I was able to become a starter as a rookie with the wheel, and I think that's what drives me. Just now I'm too old. It's always something. Now I got a 4-game suspension. How is he going to return? How is he going to come back? It's always, last year was my sister dealing with, passing away. It's always something that, gives me motivation. And, and to this year, it was just the fact that some people, you don't want to say no names, but former tight ends for the Broncos said, I was doing something and taking some type of steroid, and he just ain't natural. So that just gave me more motivation. You know what it looked like. And most of the time, players know. People know. So, unfortunately, I get a chance to go out and prove, I can still play this game.
Speaking to that, though, would you talk a little bit about the pressure of coming back? You're coming back on a national stage on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
That adds even more to coming back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. The whole world is going to be watching. And, I never came back with the anticipation on, this is about Antonio Gates. I came back with the anticipation of just being able to contribute to what the San Diego Chargers is trying to do collectively to win a football game. And I wouldn't dare put that much pressure on myself So my whole thing is that I just need to come back and whatever it is that the coordinator wants, whatever position, whatever role he wants me to be in, just try to do that to the best of my ability, and things will be fine. We can find a way to get a win. I think that's the most important thing.
The fact that you've had 4 weeks off, is that now an advantage in those dog days coming up towards the end of the season? You've got 4 weeks where your body wasn't pounded to death.
Well, I mean, I'd imagine that it has somewhat of an effect, just because I know the nature of this league and how difficult it is to play week in and week out for 16 weeks, 17 weeks, so not considering postseason. So I'd imagine, you come in somewhat fresh. I can kind of tell I was running routes full speed and the guys was, you know what I mean? So I can tell that the 4 weeks has obviously helped me out where, I was able to come out and still be full go. But it still doesn't dismiss the fact that you have to continue to take care of your body throughout the whole season.
What did you think of the job the other tight ends did, especially last week with so many wide receivers going down and guys having to take on more of a role?
You know what was so funny is this question was asking me earlier this week, and it didn't really surprise me because I know obviously what Darius can do. I know what John can do. I know what all the guys can do. So it was more surprising to people outside of obviously this organization, specifically the tight end room. I've always, in my heart, sincerely knew that they are capable of making plays and being effective, and that's what they've been able to do these past 4 weeks.
The George game film, I know you were watching the broadcast, but have you looked back and seen, Ladarius and John?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to go back and look at it. I didn't want to have, I said, like I said specifically, I didn't want to apply more pressure, if that makes sense. Once you start seeing things or hearing things, it's somehow, even if you don't gravitate towards it, somehow you find a way to do it when you hear them. So I didn't want to do nothing. I just wanted to come back with a clear mind and saying, look, I was rooting for the guys. I was always supportive, but I'm here to help. It's not about me. It's about us as an offense. It's about us collectively. How do we get to 3-2? That's just it. And I came back with a clear mind.
The rapport between you and Philip, I mean, that's more than a decade in the making. 4 weeks doesn't change it, I'm sure. What was it like on the field today, just catching passes from him?
It was like riding a bike, man. It's like you just stop riding a bike for a long time and you start riding it again. You understand postures. I understand kind of what he's thinking. He understands what I'm thinking. He knows how to read me better than anybody. So it was fun. It was fun to be out here laughing and joking with a guy that I've spent over a decade with. So I was just happy to be here.
Any exchange that you had today with him in the locker room or on the field that maybe you missed the most just being away?
Just the laughter, man. Obviously, he understand that, and we both understand this, that, we want to win. We want to win a championship. We understand that'll put a staple on our careers. But I think, when you leave here, football is one thing, but you really, really miss the laughing, the having fun, just the true dialogue that you have with people outside of sports. That's what you kind of miss the most.
Do you play better when there's emotional reasons for your motivation?
Not really. I think that's something, I've always, that's something that somewhat motivates me at times. I don't really need it. I motivate myself. I try to, it's me against me. That's just the way I look at it. When I'm working, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to be a better Antonio Gates. I'm not trying to worry. I don't care who's watching. I don't care if, there's a 90,000 or 20,000 watching. I just want to be a better football player. I want to constantly get better. And, when you have that tunnel vision, you don't really, need true motivation, but sometimes it actually helps. Sometimes you have to dig deep to motivate yourself, and then things occur, and then you say, wow, I'm going to use that this year. And that's kind of what I always try to do, is find some little niche every single year to try to use that to kind of be motivated.
So you would say it almost sharpens your tunnel vision a little bit?
Yeah. It can kind of sharpens your tunnel vision because you can always get off track. I don't care who you are. It's just human nature. So it does in a sense.
So it sounds like for those 4 weeks, you were careful not to waste them in the sense of falling into a mentally bad place. Like you wanted those to be good things.
Yeah, because I had, I knew that I had a lot of doubters, and I really didn't care, to be honest with you. But I had so many supporters, and I think that's what meant the most to me, is the ones that was supporting me. I wanted to be able to make them proud. So that's why I didn't really care what no one had to say in terms of whether or not it was, steroids or he missing 4 games or he's been doing it all his career. I really didn't even care. I just wanted to come back and be a part of something and be a part of this team.
On
Monday night when you come out of that tunnel in front of the Charger fans and they say your name and the reaction, what do you imagine going through for your mind?
Man, it's already special to be able to come out and come out of that tunnel, to be honest with you. Even now, I can just feel the love. And I think that's probably the number one thing that I probably was missing. It's just the true fans, the true Charger fans, just being there, being supportive, and being able to play a game that people will kill to play.
Did during your time off, what you were doing during the day, did any of the fans come up to you and show their support in your daily life when you were at the store or driving around? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've had some weird things said to me. So, it was all love, what I'm saying. I mean, some of the stuff was so funny because obviously you walk around, I'll be in LA or somewhere, and you think people don't really know. I'll be like, oh, these people don't know who I am. I have a hat on. Somebody might lean over and whisper to me and say, I believe you. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know what I mean? So it was just all fun, man. It was all good. So.
But did that reinforce?
Yeah, it just reinforces me how special it is to play. You know what I mean? How many people are actually watching and paying attention to the decisions that you make. I think that was the biggest message that I got. So many people will come up to me and speak to me and just say, oh, you was just such a class act, or like I said, I believe you. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I know what it looks like. You don't take steroids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So those type of comments was, it was good to hear. So.
Do you think fantasy geeks are happy to see you back?
Yeah. You never know. I'd imagine so. Half of the time, them are the people that's, waiting on me to come back because, had it not been for fantasy, I don't even know if people even knew who I, recognized me. So, yeah.
Look at this game, Steelers specifically. Particular Bo not there anymore, a little bit different scheme. What do you see out of them as you head into Monday night?
Obviously the coordinators changed, but the style of football, Pittsburgh is still, that defense sets the tone. And, can't say enough about that front seven. And then obviously, it's a big challenge for us offensively to go in and try to protect our home field. But more importantly, convert on third down, score in the red zone, be efficient offensively. We got to, obviously it's a task, and it's always been a task since I've been here. I don't expect to just be able to walk out there and move the ball. We have to obviously, put in work throughout this week and do things necessary that we can go in and try to win a football game on Monday night.
You see what Gronkowski did against him in that season opener on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I've struggled with tight ends a little bit. That maybe make you think I can have a big night on the first night back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to look at a situation like that. Obviously, Gronk is a special player and what he's able to do, and what he's brought to this league. So I've never been a type that see something specifically and say it's going to work for me, because things can change over the course of 3 or 4 weeks. I just know that if we're doing what we're capable of doing offensively and being efficient and taking care of the football, we should have a special day. We can have a pretty good day.
Last question. Do you think the team's going to try to work you back in a little bit? And where do you sort of see your role now going forward, given, you saw the tight end how they played your
Yeah, I really don't have no expectations in terms of how much I'm going to play, how less I'm going to play. All I know is that whenever my number is called, I just need to be ready. I think my focus is on being prepared, doing the little steps, taking steps one day at a time, and making the right, doing the right things to be able to play on Monday night. Obviously, we got a core of guys that's, super talented. So, I'm quite sure our coordinator will maximize every single player's ability in that tight end room. So, I'm just, I'm here like everybody else, just trying to do the right things to, be efficient offensively.